What's up? It's Marco, Sage of Soccer, and Uruguay just beat Ghana 2-0, but it wasn't enough as South Korea upset Portugal, and both those teams are going home. And man, towards the end of that game, Uruguay was really pushing, and Ghana, despite still being able to go through, if they got a 3-0 win, 3-2 win, pulled off the comeback, they didn't really try. I think that they knew that it's like, okay, we've got a small chance of winning if we really go for it, or we could screw over Uruguay and we could get a bit of revenge from that game 12 years ago. And I think they went with the revenge. And I have to say, you gotta respect the pettiness. Like, they said, you know what? If we lose, we're taking you down with us. And I gotta say, like, that's just a crazy idea, but I kind of like it. And with Ghana, like, I think they were the youngest team at this World Cup, so honestly, immaturity, you kind of got to expect it. In Uruguay, they knew this game was going to be tough, and they didn't put themselves in a position to succeed. Their destiny wasn't in their own hands, and it happens. I think for Ghana, like, you have to look for the future for them, and things are looking pretty promising. We had Kudus, who won a penalty for them. He's just been, I don't even want to call him a breakout player because he's already been having a breakout season at Ajax, but he's looking really good. Big move for him is going to come up pretty soon, in my opinion. And aside from that, a lot of good young players. Salisu for Southampton. Then you have to keep in mind you have Tariq Lamptey and the guy from Sporting. Then you have Uruguay, and for them, it's more the end of a really good generation for them. Luis Suarez, Cavani, Godin, probably their last World Cup. And man, Suarez, he's a legend of the game, and he wasn't really expected to do much. He had an assist, maybe two, depending on if they counted that first goal where his shot was saved. But just a pretty good game by him. Darwin Nunez was trying to make something happen. Man, the former Liverpool and the Liverpool man, like, I feel like that was a pretty good partnership that they really should have gotten more out of. But they were starting to look a bit better, but wasn't enough. De Escaleta finally, or not finally, he had a really good game. 2 goals. Suarez, as I mentioned, set up both. I thought they were doing well holding up against that Ghana attack when they had to. Valverde was looking pretty strong in the midfield. Bentancur went out hurt. They were still good despite that. And I thought they were doing pretty well. I think they assumed Portugal were going to win or at least draw, but it didn't end up happening. I actually switched the game I was watching at 75 minutes because you could see the writing on the wall for this one. And man, South Korea had just an amazing game with Son going on a great run to find Hwang Hee-chan, the Wolverhampton man, for that goal. That was insane. Just great job there for South Korea. Like, I had already written things like their outlook for the future, but no, they end up winning, and hopefully Kim Min-jae will come back, and they have a game probably against Brazil. That's going to be a tough one, but hey, who knows what can happen? Maybe Neymar's not back. They might pick up a couple more injuries with how Brazil's been going, so it's going to be really fun to watch them. Great to see Son keep going. As I mentioned before, Kim Min-jae, just such a great player. Hwang Hee-chan, like him at Wolves. Lee Kang-in, like such a talented young guy who I'm really hoping will break out pretty soon. I think he's got a lot of talent in him, and it's going to be really fun to watch those guys. Looking ahead to the knockout round, you have Portugal. Like, again, I wasn't really watching the full game. They rested a lot of players. I don't think they were really going for it. They're likely to face either Switzerland or Serbia or Cameroon. I'm kind of assuming Switzerland right now. And Switzerland have given Portugal a lot of good games recently, but I think Portugal's going to be going to that game the favorites. They've been looking really strong. Ronaldo's probably looked the best he has like this entire calendar year. Bruno Fernandes is on great form. The defense has been pretty good. You have Ruben Diaz, Pepe, whoever they decide to go with. João Cancelo. Unfortunately, Nuno Mendes went down. I think that might end up hurting them, but Rafael Guerreiro has put in good performances for them. Looks like they figured out the midfield. Neves and Carvalho seems to be the deeper ones. Bernardo Silva is a great option. João Felix has been looking pretty good. Rafael Leo is such a dangerous threat. So, you got to be confident in that Portugal team. They should be able to win in the first knockout round game. And then moving forward, who knows what could happen? I mean, who are they playing in the next game? I think they have Croatia is looking like their matchup. Again, that's going to be a tough one. They've gotten the better of them before, but or Croatia, Japan? No, I don't know. I have to double check that. But Portugal, they have a decent chance. They're set up well to get to, at the very least, the semifinals, maybe in a final run in them. It's going to be very fun to watch these teams. As I mentioned before, with Ghana, I think things are still promising for the future. Uruguay, it was a great run. You had a World Cup semifinal run in there. But hey, ghosts of the past haunted them. Ghana finally got their revenge in their own way. Korea looking like such a good team. Will they be able to get the better of Brazil? I don't know, but it's going to be fun to see that game happen. And then you've got Portugal, who, man, they look like they could be contenders for the title. And yeah, that's all we have to talk about. A couple of really fun games. Yeah, see you.